My name's Sinan Hussein from the International Office. We're very happy to have a familiar face on campus today, Fernando Elunda from Angola. He is a METU NCC graduate from the class of 2013, and he is a mechanical engineer today working at BP. He's going to be talking about his time at METU NCC, and he's also going to be talking about his career and how he's getting along today. So Fernando, welcome to the campus. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Okay, it's a pleasure on my side as well to come back and see this beautiful university. I used to study here and I know the place is being pretty much very well managed. There is no deterioration. It's a great thing to see.
Has it changed much since 2013?
It changed a lot in terms of people. I would say installation is pretty much the same as we left, which is good actually. There is no anything that is showing sign of damage. But on the population side, it's great to see now a bigger environment. You can see that. For instance, Kalakala is full.
Yes.
We used not to see that at my time here at university, and it really brings a different environment for social gathering. I mean, for people to enjoy and do some other things like have fun apart from just studying.
So I'd like to go back to your early days. How did you hear about METU NCC or METU?
METU.
And how did you come about to study here?
Yeah, I used to study in Angola and I got this scholarship from BP. Actually applied for the scholarship. I saw that in the news and I got the scholarship. I was to be sent to South Africa actually for my mechanical engineering degree. But there was a change afterwards. I came to Turkey. I was told to be sent to Turkey, and I had my first year in METU NCC. I didn't know much what METU was all about, but when I arrived there, I could feel the impact, how big the campus is. I got to research a bit more about the university itself. And I got to know that it's the best and was the best in Turkey. I guess still the best in Turkey, and it is one of the best in Europe per se. And mainly in my department, which I wanted to enroll on mechanical engineering. And then we had to come here to Cyprus, which it's the branch of METU Ankara. At the beginning, it was a bit of
culture shock for you?
Yeah, it's a normal thing to experience in ways. The culture shock, the impact was mainly on the people. We were a few, and it just started to grow afterwards. We found ourselves to do a couple of things just to have fun, for instance. And we got to see that initial impact just disappeared after a while. For instance, we managed to occupy ourselves apart from the academic world. For instance, sports, we used to play football, for instance, every weekend, just to get ourselves.
How did you find the academic quality of this campus especially?
Yes, I think pretty much there is this thought, I'll go in this way. There is this thought that METU NCC is just a campus that was put somewhere else to accommodate other people that cannot get to METU Ankara, which I think initially that's the idea that you get. But as you study in METU NCC, you will notice, for instance, after a while, that you are ready, for instance, to go and study in METU Ankara. I have examples of people who left this university and went to METU Ankara and they were really good. They didn't have an issue. I had a colleague in mechanical department. He left this campus and he was in Ankara for a year or so, and he did perform really well. There was no issue. I had colleagues, Angolan ones, who went as well to Ankara for a year. Then they came back and they didn't have an issue. So I think that is just an initial misconception, and the campus was really new and people were not trusting that much the system. But then you get to realize in the last years that you are capable. You will be similarly capable as someone who graduates from Ankara. Yeah.
Of course, you also find here that the student-faculty ratio is lower than what you would get in Ankara, which I suppose enabled you to have some good relationships with your faculty members here as well. How was that? Can you describe that relationship?
That was great. I mean, we used to be at least 30 students in a class, could be 20 sometimes. When you get to I would say, when you get to the third or fourth year, you will be at least 20 something in the same classroom. Then you have a professor available for you, like one professor. It's always in his office. You can get to him, ask questions, you can ask for guidance. That is already available for you. We used to have a professor somewhere. He used to be in his office until late noon, and he said, if you have an issue, just come. And he was patient to teach you, for instance, anything that you find it difficult to understand, and you would really excel afterwards. So I think in terms of faculty members and students' relationship, they were almost, I would say, the best. At least we had another example would be Professor Derek Baker. He used to be our professor in energy conversion systems, and he was always available to us. He set us projects, and we used to go to talk to him, present our case, and then go back, look at our projects again, come back. So we had this relation with the faculty members, which was easy to find. If you are in a bigger, I would say, if you are like a lot, and the professor is really always busy and won't have an availability for you guys, that's something that you may miss out, which this university definitely has. I mean, in terms of opportunity to reach out to the faculty.
So the interest at METU NCC is increasing year by year. What advice can you give to those students who have METU NCC in their minds but have not yet made their minds up yet?
I think you in METU NCC, everything is next to you. Yeah, you will be able to excel in less than I mean, if you're already capable at the beginning, you'll be pretty much able. But if you are like in confusion whether you can excel, you can develop your capabilities here in METU NCC, I'm sure you will be at the right place, because I graduated from here. I'm an example. So faculty, you'll be alright. You will have everyone next to you. In terms of installations, you will have everything next to you. You'll have the lab available to you for an experiment that you may want to do. You will have the gymnasium, you will have all the sport facilities next to you. You will even have a golf court. So now we have the neighborhood that is being developed a lot because of this campus. We have really big, I would say, culture thing being set out in this area. So I think you won't regret if someone has to come to this campus, he won't have an issue at all. So he will not regret. He will have a good experience in terms of his engineering degrees and in terms of networking. So METU NCC, apart from Turkish people and Cypriot people, it's a diverse culture. You'll find Africans. We have a Brazilian here, I heard. You will find Asians like Saudi Arabia and I would say not Afghanistan but Pakistan guys. So it's really a diverse culture. It will help you to build on that capability to work with diverse people.
So you could explain METU NCC or describe METU NCC in 3 words. What would you say?
You really got me here. So I haven't thought about it, but just then, so it's an integrated university. So integrated, I mean you have everything here. You don't need to go out to get things for your to help you graduate at your university. So everything is here. There is no issue. Another word is, I think, excellence. There is a word people say, this is METU, so they will push you to your limits, and I think that is great. Every single university usually would drive you to be pushed to your limits, but some will accommodate to your level. So METU, ETC does push you to your limits. You feel where you can, how much work you can do. So I think here is a great place for you to develop that capability as well and understand what are your limits. And another word I think I should go for, I'm still, maybe solidarity. I think we used to have lots of solidarity when we were here. Like we used to look after every single member. I used to be the SA representative or president at this university, and we looked after members. We even looked after people who were outside of this university, for instance, organizing something. Yes, and in that stage, the students built that side of I mean, this aspect in their life, so that we could look after ourselves. So if anyone has an issue, you will be able to get around and resolve that issue between ourselves. If he needs guidance, he has an issue, for instance, in discipline, he will get assistance for a senior student or a professor. So I think these are the right roles that I would select for this university. Yeah.
So what are you doing today, Fernando?
Nowadays I'm working as a mechanical engineer within BP Angola. When I started, actually, I was a reliability engineer. Then I moved to a site engineer in the platform. It's actually an FPSO, stands for floating production storage and offloading facility. Then I'm now in the office, back in the office. I'm working as a support engineer to that facility, which is called Greater Plutonio. So what I do, I'll work on smaller modifications, initial modifications. I segregate work to other teams, which works in for instance, in a mid or long-term projects. I usually drive that as well. So as a mechanical engineer, is mainly look after certain things that you want your plant to be at least reliable and available all the time. For instance, we want always to have good operating points, and you don't want to have an LOPC, which stands for loss of primary containment. Like we are working in a hazardous facility. If you have, for instance, gas coming out of your pipe, it's catastrophic.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, it's a catastrophic incident. So I think what we are managing our facility so that we don't have those type of incidents. Yeah.
Would you say that METU NCC has prepared you well for your career? Did you find yourself well equipped?
Yes, that's right. So when I went to my interview, I was pretty much comfortable of when I got the technical, for instance, questions. I was pretty much comfortable to respond to them. I didn't find it quite much challenging at the time, because I was ready from here. So the elective courses that I've taken, they were pretty much telling. I mean, I got questions related with HVAC, heat transfer, and a bit about static equipment and thermodynamics. So I was pretty much ready. So if you know the basic, you'll be pretty much ready to talk about bigger things. You can extrapolate from that. So I was pretty much ready, technical wise, to respond to those questions. Then it comes the job itself, which you will be learning on the job how the process works. But initially, I was ready. I thank Smith for that as well.
And finally, for students that have now completed their registrations and ready to begin their journey at METU NCC, what key advice could you give to these students?
I would say, remember this word. This is METU. It will be tough. It's normal to be tough because it will help you to push you to your limits. That's the word I use all the time, and you will be able to learn as much as you can. So it will be tough, but remember that you need to plan and refrain from procrastination. So keep studying, have your disciplines in control, have a good planning beat on when you should start. Don't forget to have fun. It's normal. You should have fun just to release a bit of stress. And you have facilities here, and you have now places around the campus that can help you have fun. And another thing is on the behavior side, please go ahead, go networking, socialize with other people. Don't just try to be on your own. This is a diverse campus, and you will be taking advantage to know every single culture and to socialize with them, and this will carry with you in the future. That will be something really interesting in the job place. Like you'll be working, if you go to a multinational company, you'll be working with diverse people again, and your team will be built not just by your friends but by different type of people. So you should be ready to be able to work with them, and starting now will be the right moment. So you work with your Turkish friends, Cypriot friends, you work with Asian friends, you will work with African friends, and that's it. That's developing your capability within this university that will help you in the future.
Fernando, thank you for this valuable information. Thank you for visiting our campus. And I wish you the best of luck in your future career as well.
Thank you, Sinan.
Thank you very much.
Hi, my name's Sinan Hussain, and I work in the international office at METU NCC. And if you want to keep up with the latest news at METU NCC, then subscribe here to our YouTube channel. And remember, us METUans, we can change the world.